Hello, boys and girls. It's time for another story out of Taylor's Bible Storybook. And today we're going to do story number 5. It's called A Huge Tower. Soon after the flood ended, Noah became a grandfather, for God gave children to Noah's sons and their wives. These grandchildren grew up and they had children too, until after a while the world was full of people again. Don't you suppose these people would be very careful not to make God angry? They knew about the terrible flood and what had happened to all the people before, but no, they didn't care, and they kept on doing all kinds of bad things. Perhaps they weren't afraid of God because of the rainbow and God's promise not to send another flood. But there were many other ways for God to punish them. He could send sickness or war or not enough food, or he might send down fire from heaven to burn them up. But they seemed to forget this. Their hearts were bad, so they acted just like people before the flood, constantly sinning against God. There was only one language in the world at the time. Today there are hundreds of languages, like English and Spanish and French and German. Can you name 5 more? But in those days, the people all talked alike. And so everyone in all the world could understand everyone else. One day, the people said to each other, "Let's build a high tower as high as heaven." So they began to build it. We are not told why they wanted this tower, but probably it was because they were proud and wanted everyone to see how great they were to build such a high tower. But it is sinful to be proud, and God knew what they were thinking. One day the Lord came down from heaven to see the tower, and he was not happy about it. He decided to stop the building from building it, to stop the people from building it, so he made them begin to speak in different languages. Now they couldn't understand each other. Now one man would ask another for a hammer, but the other man couldn't understand him. This made them angry with each other, and soon they stopped working and they went home. They didn't even want to live near each other anymore, so all those speaking the same language lived together and moved away from those who didn't speak their language. This is why different languages are spoken in different parts of the world today. So the tower, which was called the Tower of Babel, was never finished. The word Babel means mixed up. When people began to talk in different languages and couldn't understand each other anymore, they got all mixed up. This is why the tower was called the Tower of Babel. And this is the Tower of Babel. All right, that's the end of today's story number 5. And join us next time as we do another story out of Taylor's Bible Storybook. We'll see you later, boys and girls. Bye-bye.